Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Member Spotlight. My name is Ashlyn Harding. I am with the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here today with one of our lovely members, Clive Digby-Jones. And today is all about him. So we're going to jump right in to getting to know him a little better. So welcome, Clive. Good to have you here.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so before we get to know you a little bit better, what are you going to talk about today, and why should people listen and stay here and listen to what you're about to tell us?
Yeah, I was thinking about what to say today, and the title is Extending the Reach of Your Business. I actually want to talk about creating real change.
Mhm.
And I was recognizing that as a business leader, I've gone on endless courses and everything else, lots of techniques, and I'm sort of thinking that maybe people would like to hear something a little bit different. So what I want to talk about is, because I work with pioneers building legacies and they're sometimes seeking breakthrough, is that they hit a wall. Uh, and they're powerful people, they're very successful people, and it's not easy to talk about hitting a wall. So what I want to do is, at the end of this talk, I want to give you a free transformational tool, a very quick little thing you can do on the computer, which opens you up to considering some things about what I'm going to be saying. So it's going to be slightly different to the usual, let me tell you everything I do for everybody kind of.
Yeah, wonderful, and that's awesome. And we love to see something different, something unique. It's a lot more interesting. Um,
I will put one plug in: is I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, and if anything crops up that interests you, give me a call at the end. I'll give you my details.
Wonderful. Yeah, we'll get your contact info at the end. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about you and what you're known for, and your two businesses that you have?
Okay, so the two businesses are Ravenscroft International. Been doing that since the early 90s. And then the other started in January, and it's called Global Wellness Transformation. And I'm one of the founders and directors of that new venture. And what I'm known for is, more recently, I've been rebranded, or I've rebranded myself as the Quantum Jockey.
Mm-hmm.
And after I stopped laughing, I realized that that description actually is all about what I've done all my life. So from the age of 4, I was fascinated about how things worked and how to make them work better. And I drove construction people wild with my questions in great detail about what every tool was they were using and everything else. That went through into organization and methods. So I worked for IBM as one of my first jobs, and helped reorganize a very organized company. That went on into business and business management, and up to CEO and group board director. And then I became a consultant in innovation. And one of my first projects was to do a study of Walt Disney. I was allowed into the archives, and I studied the man, and I studied his management of creativity. And that was for Disney University. And then the other thing I did was write a book with my partner, Dr. Eileen Watkins Seymour, who's the inventor or developer of RAPSI, Ravenscroft Approach to Psycho-Spiritual Integration. And the book is called The Missing Piece, P-E-A-C-E, and it's a play on words. So I've been interested in people's outsides, and what they're doing, and could they do them better? And I've got lots of advice and information for people if they really want it for their company. But the bit that's really taken hold is what goes on the inside. So I am known as a therapist, healer, executive coach, and all sorts of other names applied to what I do. I basically help people find out what's missing and help them go find it so that they can be whole. So if I ask the audience today to think about being present, let's say being fully present is 10 out of 10, how close to 10 are you on average? And when I mean present, that's present in the room, it's present in your touch, present in your voice, present in your being, present in your relationships. And in a room, I don't know how many people listen to the program, but in a room full of 200 people come up with a number. So that's the first interesting thing, is that our system, all of us, all of ourselves, knows how much is missing. And if somebody says, I'm on average, well, on a good day, I'm an 8. On a bad day, oh my Lord, I'm, 2. If I'm at a 5, I'm 1 foot on the brake, 1 foot on the accelerator, and my wheels are spinning. But let's say somebody says I'm a 6 out of 10. That says 60% of your energy is trying to be 10. And there's 40% missing. And that's the bit I'm interested in, is helping people find that. And there are lots of wonderful programs and people managing themselves. Self-management is a very lucrative business. You may have noticed that people have symptoms. There are negative feelings, there are all sorts of other things. And when it comes to, taking your business and having it reach further, how much of you is available to make that happen? So my stepdaughter was looking at The Secret, and she created wonderful futures for herself and sort of color boards and other things to help her manage that. And then she realized that only part of her was actually stepping forward to do that. So whether you're really successful in your business, in fact, to overflowing, and your life is not as in balance as it could be, hang on a second, let's take those off. Now I can hear without the phone ringing in my ear. Wonders of technology. Yeah, so she simply found that not all of her was available. And so she's done some work on herself to find the missing pieces. So that's a whole area. But when I give you this little transformational tool at the end, it holds up a mirror to you as to how you behave, how you communicate. So most of us just communicate. If you knew you were one of 4 colors, and that 75% of the world communicated and behaved differently to you, would it be interesting in your sales process, in your team building, in your relationships with people? So at the end, I'm going to give you that. And I think I've gone way past the next question you were going to ask me, but
that's okay.
I'm something of a guru in some areas and a learner in the others. I'm writing a book called Who Stole My Now? And then I'm writing another one called Putting Humpty Dumpty Together Again, which is my story of my search for the rest of me. So I am a product of what it is I'm teaching and talking about.
Awesome. That's wonderful. And yeah, so I think, so you did touch on it a little, about the problem that you think people listening might be facing. And so if you want to, talk about that some more, and then also talk about the solutions that you're offering today.
Okay. So the 2 things I think people listening might connect with is that you need more innovation, or you need a bigger dream for your business. You're wanting to extend it. However, you're reaching the limits of where you could get it to. So the first thing is thinking about what's your big dream. And the next thing is what's stopping you. So I'm back to that topic. And if you can find the missing piece in you, obviously we have a book and usual things we can help with that. But it's like the first thing is to become aware that you're not 10 out of 10, that there's part of you missing, and to start to wonder where it is, when it went missing. And I'll tell you that some people have done Landmark Forum, they've done Tony Robbins, they've done all sorts of programs where they've skated over their negative feelings or thoughts and operating from a future possibility. Well, there's something called the rubber band effect. And that is, if something's anchored in your past, something in childhood, yeah, sure, but teenage, first day at school, 5, first time this time, first time that, we little bits of us are not in the present. So that's a whole area for discussion with whatever means you have at your disposal to examine your inner world. But I want to talk to you about a process for creating your legacy. So if we want to create a big vision, I have something called creating your legacy in bed. And people say, oh my God, you know, he's a dirty old man. What in bed stands for is INBED, which is inventing. I'm actually going to grab one. Oh God. Forgive me. Not supposed to do that. So inventing the future. The N is naming the impossible. You know, what is it in what you're trying to invent? And I'll give you an example in a minute. To build a wheel, there's an actual wheel involved with the future around the rim, and then spokes, which are the aspects of your life or the aspects of your business or the aspects of what it is you're trying to create. And you work from 3 years out, back from the future to the hub, which is the present, as you look at things. Then you need to, E is enlighten you, your team. We're back to that bit about how much of you is missing. And then D is do it now, acting as if. So the story that goes with this is that I was traveling to Switzerland on a plane with a colleague, and we were going to conduct a project for 3 years with the agricultural division of Merck Pharmaceutical. They wanted to introduce a new product into Russia. The last time they tried, it took them 12 years and involved tanks and trading grain and Politburo chiefs who had some interest in different kinds of money and other things. And look at Russia now. But anyway, back then, this was in the early 90s. Yeah, that's right. There was no glasnost or perestroika. There was the Russian Empire was strong and everything else. And here were 20 mixed Europeans in a ballroom in Switzerland overlooking Lake Geneva who were going to set off and do this thing in 3 years. Well, the first thing to notice was their ancestors had killed each other across the Europe for years, and here these small groups who were talking their same language and then sticking together and everything else was supposed to become a team. So how you team build. So what I came up with was, let's have them invent a new Russia. Let's have them dream what a new Russia could look like, be like. So we spent several days doing that, and we had chart boards all around the room representing the rim of the wheel, and they started to get a bit excited. And then we traced it all the way back to the present and the present things that needed to happen, but we knew they wouldn't because there was no energy in the group. So we actually took them one at a time, and we split up. And over a few more days, we worked with them to find out what their visions for the world were, what their passion is, what they really want to have happen, and ally it to this. And then we had them talk to each other in a way of openness and sharing and caring, which gradually, over a couple of weeks, produced this phenomenal team. And then they started to act as if. But before they did, we asked them, well, what's the one impossible thing that would stop you achieving this dream of yours? And they said the Berlin Wall to a person. They didn't confer, they just all named the Berlin Wall. You know, the Berlin Wall was this example of blockage and this and that and everything else. So we had that on a separate board, and every time it came up, we look at how they could go over it, dig under it, go around it, ignore it, do something different, So it was there all along. So here we were, we'd done this. This is the kind of innovation project I've done in 41 industries, you know, with Disney and others and everything else. Something magical happened. 3 years to the day from that first meeting, when we started talking about a new Russia, the Berlin Wall opened.
Wow.
Now, was that good planning? Was it good luck? Or was it inventing the future? So a lot of what I tell people to do, and if you're wanting to extend the boundaries of your business and everything else, the first thing you need to do is to really, really, really invent a future that is rich, and not just a thought one, but it's got to be a full body one. And that takes a little bit of doing.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do next? Well, I'm going to tell you about the free transformational tool.
Yeah. Yes, please. I would love to hear about that.
So it's something, and I'm going to give you I'll give it to you more than once. There's an actual little website,
Okay.
HTTPS, then a colon, 2 forward slashes. You can see how technically adept I am. And then after that is capital letters GWT, which stands for Global Wellness Transformation. And we have a website as well, which I'd encourage you to look at, because it's a fabulous place to join up and do things. And then it's gwt-ima.com. Okay. And if you go onto that, 6 minutes with 10 questions will give you your basic color. I'm a high yellow. They talk a lot. They're marketing people, they're ideas people, creative people. And the problem is, if I come up against a high red who's not terribly strong on sharing themselves, is extremely successful. Most of my clients, most of my pioneers are like that. And really, they need help to find how to open up as opposed to man up. They're pretty good at the man up or womening up stage. But so if you have a look at that and fill it in, it sends an email to me or to somebody else who's managing this, and we send you back a full page information on your color. And you look at it and you say, oh my God, I see, yes, those are my strong points. That's how I like to do things. This is what happens to me under stress. So nice to know. Next, get your partner to do it. Next, get your colleagues to do it. I would send you, if you're interested and have children, I would send you 2 special tests. It's not so much a test, it sounds like a test. It's actually a mirror. It's a mirror.
Right. No wrong answers.
No, no, absolutely. Yeah. But the interesting thing then is you can start to look at family dynamics, how the kids are different. And if you start doing it at work, you start to build new teams. You start to recruit people who are really, really suited to the job, not just they've got a good resume or CV or whatever. So this is a little thing I'll give you, because if you're going to extend and expand your business, first of all, you need to make sure you are all present. All of you is present, whichever way you put it. And then you need to invent a future that really is going to pull you forwards, and which then step by step by step you can put the things in place and get help from other people who are the right colors to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that sounds amazing. And I will be doing that probably right after our live stream, because it sounds really, really great. And I put the website in the chat as well, so it should show up. So gwt-ima.com.
That's it. That's it. The IMA process. And I'm happy to give you some contact details if it's helpful.
Yeah, that would be great. If anyone wants to, get in touch with you, that would be wonderful.
So a couple of places you can look for information is on LinkedIn, look under Quantum Jockey, and you'll find some interesting posts and things there. Or RAPSI, R-A-P-S-I, Revolution. And there are, again, information there. Those are the 2 main things that describe our business. We also have a website for Ravenscroft International, which is Ravenscroft, the bird and the nest, ravenscroft.com. And people can contact me. I can happily give you a phone number to text and other things, probably not broadcast, but I'll give it to you, Ashlyn. So if anybody says, yeah, right, okay, I didn't write down all that stuff, how do I get in touch with them? then please do give them
Absolutely.
my phone number.
Absolutely. Wonderful. This has been such a great chat. And I do think, is there one last thing you wanna talk about? There might be a fun little podcast
Yes.
happening.
So starting next month is a new podcast called New World Now Advances. And we have some really, really interesting guests. And it's talking about some old technologies, some new advances in the area of wellness. And there are 4 platforms. It's an education process for the world. So we're going out to bring wellness as opposed to disease systems. And it's also about wealth. So we have funding in this whole thing. One of my partners, one of my pioneers, is a multi-billionaire. So he's not putting a penny of his own money into this. He's teaching people how to make money and keep it. I joke, but we have a plan, and we don't want to be saying it's because we had a very wealthy person. It's much more that we have a whole lot of information about wealth. So listen out for the podcast. There's going to be a newsletter called ROI of Wellness, Return of Investment on Wellness, coming out of Substack, then the podcasts, and then we're off and running. And on our globalwellnesstransformation.com website is a way to join the community through which you can learn all sorts of things and get all sorts of goodies and the rest of it, which is one of the 5 communities we're setting up behind the main website.
Awesome. That sounds really interesting, and I will definitely be tuning in when that comes out. So Clive, it's been so wonderful talking with you today and learning about what you're doing. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention? Anything we didn't get to touch on before we wrap things up?
Yeah, the one thing is I have my experience in business and in life, and as a therapist and as an executive coach, etc. I'm interested in finding people who have visions, and I'm interested in finding people who feel they have a life purpose and they haven't fulfilled it. So a lot of the communities and things that are being set up, I'm really, really interested. So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, if you have something that you really want to bring into the world and you want to talk to somebody about that and how to do it, get in touch.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, again, it's been so great talking to you. And thanks to everyone who tuned in or is watching this in the future. It's been great. So, Clive, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And to everyone watching, hope you have a good day as well.
And remember to create your legacy in bed, okay?
Yes. Thanks, Clive.
I'm naughty.